is time, once more, for a Gay Fox game. Also, Happy New Year, by the way. I should mention that it's the last day of 2023. Like, we don't usually do like big celebrations in my house, so it's not like I'm going out later, just like chill with some friends for New Year's, but it's not usually like a big celebration in my life. So we've been. I don't think I'll be able to do anything tomorrow. My mum and sister are hanging out with the family. So I doubt I'll have any time to stream my normal time tomorrow. So I'm doing it today. Let's go. Where were we? We're on Aspen.
You didn't finish this one.
We're on Aspen's route. Yeah, this one. I don't think it matters what we do here. Actually, before we start, I'm gonna grab a drink. My throat is sore. That's the wrong button. I got my drink, all is right in the world. Good leave it, mate, Victoria, I guess. There must be some kind of dog marathon happening soon. A ton of people are walking their dogs up the mountain today. In this forum, dogs don't usually bother me, but for some reason, almost every dog I walk past today tries to stop their owner to sniff at me. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't making me kind of nervous. I do my best to ignore them and continue on my way, but after the 10th or so dog tries to fairly draw its owner to me, I'm starting to get weirded out. Did someone put a sniff me sign on my back or something? Whilst twisting around checking to see if anything strange was stuck to me, I remember something in my jacket pocket. Right, I snatched a bunch of beef jerky this morning. How could I forget? A little hiking gift from past Miho to current Miho. Thanks for the snack. Oh shit, yeah, it's fucking... It's time to go vibe with Lena. Shit, it's rearranged shit on my desk. I got a Nobara plush. And she's been chilling on my desk since since Christmas. She's just vibing there because I don't really have a place for her. But I need to move everything around because I need to set my stream setup. Alright, let's go hang out with Lena. I'm invested in making her seeing her get her man. Only a few days after I agreed to be in the play with Lena and Cyrus, it's time for the first rehearsal. Even though I'm not going to be as involved in it as they are, I still want to see what everything's like. I head to the park and find the area has been set up to practice. When I get there, I find a bunch of people waiting, more than at any of the other activities I've tried with Lena. Most of them are reading through thick packets of paper, standing alone or in small groups. Lena's one of the people on her own, until I go and join her.
Hey, Miho! Ready to be a tree? As ready as I'll ever be. What about you? Are you nervous? Me? Nervous? No way!
So that only happens when it comes to Cyrus, huh?
Maybe just a little. That's different, though. Hey, you should go find him and get a copy of the script, too.
I'm not sure what Miho's gonna do with the script. I'm not convinced she could read it. It wasn't hard to locate Cyrus. He's surrounded by a few boxes of props, snacks, and other supplies. Like Lena promised, or maybe threatened, he's been included in our check-in calls to make sure he remembers me. He nods when he sees me approaching.
Oh, it's my favorite tree.
Hey! Lena said I should get a copy of the script.
What other trees in your life?
That's a pretty good idea. Let me find yours.
It takes for a bunch of copies of the script until he finds one with my name on it.
Here you go. I marked all the parts where you'll be on stage.
Flip for the pages. A few sections are circled with red pen. I'm glad he did that, because it'd take me a long time to read through the whole thing on my own.
Feel free to relax for today. We'll do some dry reads and not much else.
Okay, I can do that.
I wander back to Lena, who's boldly speaking to no one.
But Mother, today is my birthday. It's not necessary to...
She stops, shaking her head.
Maybe a bit more whiny. Oh, Miho! Tell me which one you think sounds better.
She repeats the line she's just practiced twice. Just like when she made me drink to compete with Aspen. I have a hard time telling the difference.
The second one.
Okay, I thought so too. In ballet, you don't have to worry about talking or sounding good. This is harder than I thought.
Have you done the ballet version before?
Nah, but I've seen others perform it a million times. I'm sure I'd end up doing it someday if I'd stuck with ballet.
Why'd you quit? I never really got the chance to ask before.
Lena looks off into the distance, seeming unusually serious. Her wings sag and she bites her lip.
It's kind of complicated. Mostly because my parents really wanted me to do it. Like, really wanted. Ballet or dancing or anything like that. But I'm just like, hello? Can you get any more cliche than a swan girl doing ballet? Or any of that stuff? That's one of the reasons I wasn't sure about saying yes to Cyrus.
I don't get it. What's so bad about that?
They're always like, do this, do that, it's tradition, it's expected, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to live my life like that, you know? I want to do my own thing.
So you quit ballet because you don't like it?
I do like ballet, and I'm good at it too. But if I kept doing it, it wouldn't be for myself. Does that make sense?
I think so.
It reminds me of some of the conversations I've had with Aspen and Juliet, where they encourage me to do things for myself. Lena's in the same situation, but from a different angle.
Anyway, now that I've said yes to doing this, I'll do my best. I've got to be the best actor in the whole performance.
That sounds more like the Lena I know. Let her practice her lines to me. Sometimes saying the lines for other characters if she asks for it. Eventually, Cyrus calls everyone together to do some part as a group. I sit on the sidelines and watch. Both Lena and Cyrus give it their all, just like Lena promised. Some of the other actors sound a little bored or unsure of themselves, but those two don't have any issues. After a while, Cyrus calls an end to the rehearsal. We all go our separate ways until next time. Let's go. Oh, it's the babies again! First guests of the day are the school kids from last Friday. They enter one at a time, not struggling for the door this time. The girl I talked to before, Cello, comes over to the desk.
Good morning, Ms. Miho.
How the fuck she still remember us?
Morning! How'd your project go? We're still working on it.
Some of us are. Some of us just want to wander around.
It's not wandering if you have a destination.
Around isn't a destination.
That reminds me of Lena and Aspen. Cello sighs and rubs her face. She must have to put up with this a lot.
Well, that's why I wanted to come ask for Ms. Miho's advice again.
Again?
Yeah, have you met her before?
What? She helped us just a couple days ago.
Pippa and Armin look at each other confused. Even with her back to me, I can tell Cello is too. So how the fuck does she remember her then? I've gotten so used to my friends remembering me that I didn't even think how weird it was for Cello to remember. As strange as it is, I just feel like it just feels like another mystery instead of a life-changing event. Another question that I can't answer. In other words, not worth dwelling on. Sorry, the first person to remember you other than like Aspen your entire life, and you're just like, yeah. I just shrug at Cello and smile, the same way I've seen Aspen do sometimes.
It's fine. It's just a thing that happens.
The young mermaid doesn't look totally convinced, but she nods all the same. I've also seen Aspen do that plenty of times too.
Well, if it's fine with you, I had another question to ask.
Ask away.
Last time, you told me about your favorite place. Are there any other spots in Wellington that you like?
She looks back at her friends, who are both distracted by some of the library's decorations.
We're having trouble settling on a topic.
Oh, I know.
The girl, Pippa, hurries over to the desk. I didn't even think she was listening.
Do you think you could show us around town?
Pippa?
That's a lot to ask, don't you think?
And all three of them are at my desk.
She can say no.
She's working. She can't just get up and leave.
Actually...
There still aren't other patrons yet. I don't think Juliet would mind as long as I come back.
I can't spend all day, but I can show you a couple places.
Really? Are you sure?
Yep.
All three of them look at each other, then grin in unison. First place I take them to is the top of Mount Victoria.
This was one of the first places I went to when I came to Wellington.
It's so beautiful.
Chella and Armand both stand at the railing, looking out at the city, the same way I first did. I wonder if they're feeling the same things I did. Pippa is right behind them, with a notebook in one hand and a pencil in the other. At first I think she's writing, like Aspen would be, but when I walk a bit closer I see that she's drawing instead. A few quick strokes, she sketches out the shape of the railing and the slopes of the mountain. A few scribbled boxes turn into buildings and houses.
Ooh, you're really good.
Pippa's head jerks up, surprised.
Thanks!
Aww. Despite that, her face turns red and she snaps the book shut.
Oh, look at this!
Both Pippa and I turn to see Armand and Cello standing by the binoculars. Cello puts her eyes to them, but then pulls back frowning.
I can't see anything.
Oh, here.
I fish around in my pocket until I find a couple coins and then hand them to Armand.
Thanks.
I feeds them into the machine and Cello is able to look around.
Whoa.
She pans slowly from side to side before letting Armand have a turn. He looks all over, bouncing the lines up and down.
Pippa, do you want to try?
For a second she considers it, but then Pippa shakes her head.
It's fine. Let's see something else.
Next we walk down to the waterfront, where the market is. The sea is as blue as I've ever seen.
Oh, it would be nice to go for a swim.
Maybe for some of us. Is there an ocean near where you guys are from?
Oh no, but there's a giant lake and tons of canals. Cello spends basically all of her time in them.
I'd rather take a boat than an airship when possible, even if it's slower.
How do you take a... how is there an ocean if these are all floating islands? Are they like connected or something? It's never really been explained. But there is implied... the underworld is implied to be like the non-floating stuff. So clearly some of the Earth is not floating. And that's implied to be where all the fictive That's fucking effective. The Fabled they're from.
You would have swam all the way here if you could.
So, there's just something about being on your own with the ocean. When you feel like you belong. What if we did our project about this beach?
I definitely don't belong in the ocean. Can we pick something else?
I'm not entirely sure what Armand is supposed to be.
I'm with Armand on this one. It's the same as any other ocean.
You guys just can't see it, I guess.
Although she looks a little disappointed, Chell keeps going with a shrug and a smile. We take my usual path and end up back at Cedar Street, like always. It's alive with all sorts of people doing all sorts of things. As we're walking, Armand suddenly stops dead in his tracks and points.
Are those movie cameras? Are they filming something?
Without waiting for an answer, he runs off towards a corner of the street that's fenced off.
Huh. That fence wasn't here before.
Armand comes to a stop against the fence and wraps his fingers around one of the links. Sure enough, there's a whole crew of people operating cameras and other gear.
Whoa! They really are making a movie.
What do you think it'll be about?
A few people sitting on a bench across the street are dressed in costumes, although it looks like they're taking a break. One of them carries a big staff, and another one is messing with the necklace that he wears. Most of them have swords at their side.
Some kind of documentary, maybe?
Maybe.
A burly man with a short mustache notices us and stomps in our direction.
Hey, you kids, scram! Get out of here!
But we were just...
Yeah, I don't care what you were just doing. Move it!
What a prick. Disappointed, all four of us head back to a more crowded part of the street. Glance over my shoulder to see if the guy who yelled at us is still watching. He is, and he makes a grumpy gesture at me, and I turn back around. Sometimes I remember why I used to not like humans.
What a jerk.
Yeah, sorry, Armand.
Oh, it's okay. I got to see a little bit at least.
His voice comes out a little shaky. Like maybe it isn't okay, but I don't think he'd want us to point that out. I might know a way to cheer them all up.
Okay, one more stop.
Familiar ring of the bell house's door greets us as we walk in. I hold the door open for the three kids who all trail in.
Hello, and welcome to... Miho?
Welcome to the rest of them too.
Oh yes, of course. Welcome to the Bell House.
Also, fun fact, I believe the Bell House is the name of one of Studio Elan's partner companies, which is why the cafe in this game is named that. Bethel looks from Aspen to me and then back.
Are you two dating?
Huh?
How could you tell?
Pepper shrugs.
Just can.
Well, yes we are. That's why I was rather surprised to see my girlfriend. You must be the students here from out of town, right?
Yes, that's right.
You already knew about us?
I heard a bit from Miho. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. What would you like to drink? It'll be on the house.
That means it's free.
Adorable. Pepper gives me a strange look.
I know what it means.
Aspen bites her lip to keep from laughing, but I can see it in her eyes. I smell it. The three kids place their orders and then go sit down while I stay at the counter.
Babysitter for a day?
They wanted me to show them around town a little bit. I need to get back to the library soon, though.
A guided tour of Wellington from Miho? Huh, how can I sign up?
Just ask. Although, your boss might not be as happy about you skipping work as mine.
True. Maybe I should take that store position after all, so I can make my own hours.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Are you still thinking about whether or not to do it?
Yes, it's practically all I can think about when I'm here. I have to give Regina an answer by next month, though. I'll talk to you about it later, though. What would you like to drink?
Surprise me?
Alright. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, see you soon.
It's a miracle Aspen's not gone to trouble more considering how many on-the-house drinks she keeps doing. While she goes into the back, I sit down at a table in the corner with the 3 students. The cafe is fairly busy, with many of the tables populated by humans and people alike. Our area is relatively empty there. Pippa has her notebook in her lap and looks to be drawing again, although she angles the book so no one can see it.
Thanks for taking us around today, Miss Miho.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure we should be able to settle on a topic after this, right?
Armand nods under Cello's withering gaze.
Right.
Pippa, on the other hand, doesn't seem to notice. She's fully absorbed in whatever she's working on.
Pippa? Did you have any ideas?
No response. Sighing, Cello rests her head on the table instead of trying to get Pippa's attention again.
I still think we should just make it about the ocean.
Pippa's kind of right, though. It's hard to make the ocean seem special.
You're being a little insensitive, my guy.
What about the movie crew? Just without that guy at the end.
But would that really be showing Wellington itself?
Maybe not.
For a moment, everything is silent in our corner, other than the scratch of Pippa's pencil. Then she smacks that down onto the table and turns the notebook around for us to see.
Look!
Even as a sketch, it's easy to identify the Bell House. There are a few changes, like the plants and decorations, but it's still unmistakable. She's drawn it from the outside, with an overhead view right behind it. And there are the tables populated by people that I hope aren't supposed to be us.
Wow, Pippa!
May I see it?
Pippa reluctantly hands the notebook to Cello, who holds it so I can see better. The Bell House isn't the only thing she drew though. Part of the street outside is shown, including some sketches of statues and storefronts that we walk past. Across from her, Pippa waits anxiously.
I thought that a coffee shop might show it best. How all the different kinds of people exist here. It's a place that everyone loves, no matter where you came from. At least, that's what I was thinking.
I think that's beautiful.
Aspen's shoes click against the floor as she approaches us, with a tray balanced in her hand. Stopping at our table, she picks up the first of 3 drinks and hands it to Pippa.
Sorry, I couldn't help but overhear. But I often think of the Bell House the same way. It's something I love about this place. In fact, I first met Miho here.
Pippa's eyes go wide.
Destiny?
I've wondered the same.
Aww. Cello sets the notebook down on the table before taking a sip of her drink. Her eyes light up when she does.
Whoa, this is really good!
Armand nods vigorously in agreement.
I'm so glad you like them. Miho, I forgot your drink at the bar. Would you like to come get it?
Oh, sure.
Behind me, I'm pretty sure all 3 of the kids snicker amusedly. At the counter, Aspen hands me a steaming cup. I breathe in the sand to try to identify it, but I can't.
What's in it?
A surprise, remember? Tell me what you think.
I take a small sip, being careful not to burn my mouth. At once, a variety of flavors melt together. There's chocolate for sure, but not overly sweet chocolate. There's also coffee, but it's not too bitter. On top of that, there's another taste, one that I recognize but can't place.
I love it!
Phew, I was afraid I may have used too much chocolate.
Nah, everything was perfect. But what's in it besides coffee and cocoa?
Not cocoa, real melted dark chocolate. We usually only put shaving on drinks, but this was a special one.
Aww.
The other flavour is lavender. Sometimes people don't like the flowery taste, but I thought you might enjoy it.
Definitely. What's it called? I'll order it again for sure.
It doesn't have a name yet, actually. I'll try to think of one. In the meantime, I'll write down the recipe so I don't forget.
Take another sip, as good as the first.
May I try it?
Of course.
I pass the cup to Aspen, who stares at it for just a moment before pressing it to her lips.
Wow, that is perfect. If I do say so myself.
She takes another sip.
Hey, don't drink it all.
Chuckling, Aspen returns the beverage.
Sorry. I'll make my own on my break.
Is that soon?
Unfortunately not. In fact, I should get back to work before too long. If Lena catches me, I'll never hear the end of it.
You can't spend all of your job fucking flirting with your girlfriend.
Literally.
Alright. I won't keep distracting you then. I should get back to the library. Although...
I look back at the kids who are all hovering over Peppa's notebook as she sketches going.
It's fine, they can stay here. I don't think there'll be any trouble, and I'm sure it'll be easier for them to get back to their class.
Do we really just leave these children unattended? Like, where are their parents?
You sure? Thanks.
Of course. Talk to you later?
Of course.
Oh, this kid is so cute. I do appreciate that it's not... Like, most romance stories, the characters getting together is the... You know, it's the... Give me a second, hold on. Like, that's the end. They get together, they kiss, and then the story ends. But, like, Aspen's route only starts when you start dating. It's adorable. Let's see. I don't think it matters where we go. Fuck off to the waterfront, I guess. The waterfront is always a bit of a tourist hotspot, but I suppose I'm not immune to being curious about tourist attractions. This time I take note of a cancel machine that dispenses fortunes. I don't know how much I believe in fortune telling because I don't know much about it. But that machine's whole gimmick is that it has a magical golden fish in it that supposedly came out of the bay and lays the eggs that tell your fortune. Of course, the fish is fake and its eggs are little round capsules, but that you exchange a coin for. Just so happens I have a coin rolling around with the lint in my pocket, so I give it a go. The golden fish wiggles artificially as the machine groans with age and releases a fish egg. It's a little bit cute. I see why the tourists like this thing. Pop the orange capsule open and take the paper that's inside. Your smile brings joy to everyone around you, it says. That's really nice, but it's not a fortune, is it? Unless smiling at people is going to bring me some kind of good luck. I guess I'll try it just to be safe. That night as I'm laying in bed watching TV, my phone buzzes in the windowsill, startling me. It's Aspen.
Hello?
Oh, it's a joke. Oh, her picture. Oh, it's too cute.
Miho, I didn't wake you, did I?
Nah, I was still up. But I thought you went to bed hours ago. Is everything okay?
I did, yes, and I'm fine. I woke up to get some water and saw that I had an email. And after I read it, I couldn't wait to tell you. Are you ready?
Ooh.
Sure.
She clears her throat and gulps down some water before she starts.
Dear Ms. Benoit, we've read your draft and we're very impressed with what we've seen so far. At the moment, it's a couple steps away from being what we're looking for, but we'd like to fix that. One of our representatives will be in the Wellington area this Friday. Would you be available for dinner to discuss more? Best regards, Avery Frost, editor.
Ooh. I pull upright in bed as if Aspen were here telling me in person.
Whoa! So they're gonna do it? They're gonna publish your book?
Well, it sounds like there are still some details to be worked out, but...
Congratulations!
It's a good thing Juliet doesn't sleep during the night. I can hear her laugh through the phone and can't keep a grin off my own face. Can't keep a grin off my own face.
Thank you. Wait a moment, I'm not dreaming, am I?
Nope.
Good. Lately I keep thinking that my life has been going far too well, and surely I'll have to wake up soon and find that none of it was real.
It's a little dark.
No way. Although, it sounds like maybe you should go back to bed.
Probably. I'm not sure I'll be able to fall asleep again, though.
Wanna come over? Juliet's awake too.
She laughs again.
Tempting, but I shouldn't. Tomorrow, though, after I get off work.
We're gonna celebrate?
Damn right we are. Let's go somewhere, just the two of us.
Aww.
Sure. Like where?
Dunno. Figure it out when we get there.
Of course. See you at breakfast then?
Mm-hmm.
Aspen yawns, causing me to yawn too.
Alright, I get the message. Good night, Miho. I love you.
I love you too. Good night.
Oh my heart. Oh, it's too cute. Oh, lesbians. Lesbians, am I right? Melt my heart literally every time. Settling back down into bed, I can't keep a smile off my face, even as my eyes get heavier. If anyone deserves some good news, it's Aspen. I'm so glad she can finally stop worrying so much. Oh shit, okay. I'm not sure how I feel about these sections, like, it's just kind of time wasting. I guess there would be, like, more to do if we picked other paths, but it feels like we could skip past this, even if the little interlude sections are quite fun. Let's go to the bay. It's rare for me, but the sun is cozy enough that it seduces me into napping on the beach. I have a warm, formless dream that carries me away as lazily as the gentle lapping of the water on the shore. And I wake up covered in sand. Like, totally covered. Like, I think someone tried to bury me. When I look around for the perpetrator, sure enough, two guilty-looking children with shovels shriek and run away giggling. Well, thanks to the blanket, I guess. Yeah, that seems entertaining enough.
It's even more gorgeous than I remember.
Ooh, let's go. Again, the entrance to the Botanic Gardens is pretty impressive. Decorated with flowers and trees and more. It's even closer to the wilds than I remember than Mount Victoria's forests are.
Of course, last time I was rather distracted by the circumstances.
Is that why you want to come back?
Yes, this time. I intend to enjoy it to its fullest.
After meeting up with Aspen at the Bell House, I took a bus to get here. I dropped us off at the same gate that Julia and I arrived at last time. Hand in hand, like always, we drift like bumblebees from flower patch to flower patch. Aspen stops to admire the plants, and I admire Aspen. Getting that email really seems to have cheered her up. There's a bounce in every step we take together.
What kind of flowers are those?
I have no idea. They're pretty though, aren't they?
They sure are.
Like a flower. When I saw Aspen for the first time all those months ago, I thought she was pretty, but the colourful petals on her feet can't really compare. The colourful petals at her feet can't actually compare to her. That rainy day in the library, she didn't even know I was there. I never could have imagined how our lives would intertwine from then on. But it's everything that we've been through since then. All the things I've come to learn and know about her that make her beautiful. We've both talked about that day and everything after, a lot. Still, I don't get tired of thinking or hearing about it. Every day just makes me appreciate her more. Turning away from the flowers, Aspen sees me looking at her and tilts her head.
What are you smiling about all of a sudden?
You!
Earning myself a kiss on the cheek, we resume our journey through the gardens. The winding roads take us past more flowers, through forests and across ponds. Everywhere you look, there's something new to see. For the most part, I let Aspen lead us, content to see whatever she wants to see, even when that means standing around for a couple minutes while she reads the tiny words on the big signs. The sun begins to set, our walk getting gradually darker, but neither of us are in a rush to leave. When we round another corner, we reach a new area of the park that we haven't seen before. A small river runs along the path, and on one side is a large embankment. Trees with long, saggy branches run across the top, making a curtain along a lot of it. Some of the branches glisten with water, but some sparkle with something else. I point to one, getting Aspen's attention.
Hey, what's that?
What's what?
She follows my line of sight, and then her eyes light up when she sees it.
Oh,
We both hurry over to where something small and blue hangs from one of the branches, glowing like a firefly. There are silk threads hanging from the trees too. They look kind of like spider webs, but softer.
Is it a fairy?
not quite. They're glowworms.
She reaches a hand up, cupping the bright orb without touching it.
Oh, worms?
Yes, look.
I look. Sure enough, there's a bug attached to the light. Well, maybe it's the other way around.
It's almost as pretty as the flowers. Are they magical?
No, just unique. Wellington is somewhat famous for them, in fact. There should be more nearby. Shall we look for them?
Yes, look for. I'm noticing a theme of looking for bugs in this story.
Sure. Let's go.
We follow the embankment, peering among the trees and dirt for another glimpse of light. There are other people around inspecting the same area we are. We spot a couple isolated bugs, all alone like the first one we encountered. For a while, that seems to be it. However, as the night begins to set in and the sun disappears behind the hills, that starts to change. Before our eyes, light gradually appears as more and more glowing worms take their place, like candles being lit in the dark. The blue-green webbing almost seems to hover in midair at parts, since we can't see the trees themselves as easily. Finally, we come to a part of the ridge that brings us both to a halt. A big willow tree droops down, making a web of its own out of branches that even reaches past other trees. Glowworms hang from them like holiday lights. There are more here than we saw on the way combined. When we first arrived at the garden, Aspen remarked on how gorgeous it was. Now she's speechless. She takes a step forward, then another, drawn like a moth to a flame. I stay at her side, impressed by the glowworms, but unable to take my eyes off Aspen again. Her eyes wide and mouth agape. She's the most easy to read person I've met. Simple way she always wears her awe on her face and her heart on her sleeve, even when she tries to hide her feelings. To me, that's another thing I love about her. I've already seen it happen a few times. Aspen, who always tries to have the perfect words, find herself almost at a loss for them so often. Everything she feels so much. As scary as that may have seemed at one time, as it became friends and then more than friends, is something I've come to admire. She says that meeting me was destiny, or that maybe she just got lucky. I don't know a thing about destiny, but I know the second part is wrong, or at least only half true. I'm the lucky one here.
Hey, Aspen?
She turns her head to face me, and I lean forward to kiss her. I'm not used to having the right words, or any words at all, so I hope I can say everything I want to kiss. Her eyes flutter shut behind her glasses. She smells faintly of coffee and flour. Her lips taste like love. I hope she knows just how much she made my life better, just by existing, just by being here. We part, but just barely, foreheads together. She smiles. The light in her eyes brighter than the ones around us.
What was that for? Not that I mind, of course.
Just because. I was thinking about how lucky I am to be able to do that.
I see. In that case...
She kisses me again.
Just because?
Because I love you. And so you'll keep doing that?
That's the easiest promise I've ever made.
Eventually we walk away, letting some of the other searchers enjoy that spot. We follow the winding path through the garden some more, taking our time and stopping to admire anything that catches our eyes. There are plenty of those, not just flowers and trees, but the lamplit pathways and streams too. At the end, we leave the gate we entered through, taking a shuttle back into town. I walk with Aspen to her apartment before we part ways for the night. Holding my hands outside her door, she gives me one last kiss.
Thank you for a perfect evening, Miho.
It was your idea to go there. So, thank you.
It was only perfect because we were together, though. Just take the compliment, silly.
Fine, fine.
Smiling, Aspen steps forward and hugs me, enveloping me in that coffee and flower scent.
Well, shall I see you tomorrow then?
Yeah. I already can't wait.
Me either. Good night, Miho.
Good night.
With a final wave, Aspen disappears into her apartment. I make my way back to the library, feeling lighter than air. I feel revolt. Off we go. I've only been home for a little bit when I decided to step out into the night again. My last encounter with Silver didn't go so well, but it hadn't made me any less determined to talk to her. It's not just because of my magic, but and what she may be able to watch me. It's not just about my magic and what she may be able to tell me about it. It's because I also want to help her. I know that I can't tell her that outright, but every passing day that I spend with Aspen and with Juliet makes me more confident in my decision to stay around Wellington. While I don't expect things to go exactly the same way for Silver as they did for me, I hope that maybe someday she'll want to change that too. Making my way to Mount Victoria doesn't take very long. Just like last time, I changed forms and searched for Silver's scent, locking on and following it through the forest. Eventually I find her two-legged form sitting on a log with her back to me. For some reason I'm surprised, but I just assume she spent most of her time as a fox. I changed forms myself. Somehow I don't think she noticed me yet. I'm not sure if I should call out to get her attention or what. I don't think she'd like being surprised, but there probably isn't any chance she'd be excited to see me regardless. Taking a step, I have my decision made for me. The snap of a branch under my foot gives me away.
Damn it.
Sure enough, Silver spins around, her eyes going from shock to annoyance when she sees me. She leaps to her feet in a fluid motion while I hold up my empty hands to show her I'm not a threat.
Stupid dog. Learn to obey when you're given a command. I told you not to come back here.
Oops. Guess I must not have heard that part.
I don't bother to make a plan for how to convince her to talk to me, since she has a tendency to mess up any plan I try. She snorts in derision? Decision? Derision. I don't know. I'm horrible at pussies. I don't have promotion to your channel. Fuck off. Did I turn off? Give me a sec. How do I just get an update or something? How the fuck do I delete this? Oh, there it is. I'm just an idiot. Boom, they're gone. Fuck off. Don't advertise on my streams. She snorts in derision. Let's go with that. And transforms as she turns back away from me. In a flash, she's taken off.
Not this time.
I change forms and run after her. She's tricky, not just fast. She also darts back and forth, weaving around trees as she tries to get away. I don't let her, instead keeping her in my sights even though she manages to stay ahead. The forested area isn't very big, but she backtracks so much that it feels huge. If we were in our other forms, I'm sure she'd be shouting taunts at me, or obscenities. Instead, it's gravely silent, other than the soft sounds of her paws on the leaves and moss. Silver eventually gives up on trying to confuse me and instead puts on a burst of speed, pulling further and further away from me. Why is she so determined to run away, and why am I so determined to catch her? The first part isn't tough to answer, because running away is easy. I understand, because until recently, that was exactly what I would have done too. For the second part, it's harder to say. Pushing myself as well, trying to run faster than Silver. It's hard though. And my legs are already aching. Yeah, pardon me. I have to start relying on my ears and nose, and not just my eyes to track her. Suddenly I see her again, not that far out of reach. She looks back and spots me, and I can see her trying to dash again. Only this time she doesn't seem to be able to pull it off either. That's when I notice her limp. It's subtle, enough that I can only tell when I'm closer to her like this. But one of her back legs is definitely giving her trouble, and is starting to slow her down. When it becomes clear I'm going to catch her, she abruptly halts, transforming back in a flash. I scramble to bring myself to a stop, and then change to almost collapsing backwards onto the ground. My lungs feel like they're on fire, but I stay on my feet. Silver doesn't move. Her back still to me, even as I see her chest heave while she catches her breath. She clenches a fist, illuminated by the lights of her bead.
Why? Why won't you leave me alone? I've told you to stay away. Aren't dogs supposed to be good at listening?
I ignore her. I couldn't give her an answer that she'd accept anyway.
Why are you limping? Did you hurt your leg?
Silence. Not that I was expecting an answer myself. But then slowly her fingers uncurl.
No, someone else did. Why do you care?
For the first time, there's less of a sharp edge to her words. For once it sounds like a genuine question.
Because you exist, I guess. I've never met another Gumiho, but I feel like I know you. At least a little bit. We probably have more in common than you think.
Pathetic.
I don't know if she's talking about me or not. Finally she looks up and glares at me, staring right into my eyes. I'm not sure how I want to come across to her. Friendly, trustworthy, brave. Whatever we do have in common, she's also a total mystery. Even at my most antisocial, I was never as wild as she is.
Fine then, I'll tell you. Listen well, dog. I won't repeat myself.
Folding her arms, Silver turns her back to me, looking up at the stars.
The forest I called home belonged to man, as all forests do in their minds. Every day, to live was to be in fear of their cruel weapons that could tear you apart before you ever saw them. All creatures of the forest are prey to sate man's hunger for violence. I learned to run, for there was no other choice but death. To hide from their stinking horses and craven hounds. Survive, yet, for all my running and for all my fear, one day, I too found myself fleeing for my life, slabbering beasts at my heels. There was a crack as one of their weapons rang out, finding its mark in my leg. Despite the pain, I kept running for as long as I could before collapsing into the bush. I knew I was going to die, and there was nothing I could do about it. Nothing but quiver and dread, useless and pathetic. I thought I would choke on the fear. Instead, as the first of the hunters arrived, sadistic pleasure in their eyes, the pain in my throat became something else. In that moment, it transformed me. I was more than a pitiful fox. I became something greater, something powerful. In a flash, the fear came for them instead. They screamed the same way we foxes do, in agony and terror. The pain I felt was nothing compared to the euphoria of strength. It served me greater than fear had. And it was not only my blood, that nurtured the forest that day. I knew that my wounds would heal in time, but that power would never leave me. They did, and it hasn't. Never again will I suffer a human to harm me, or anyone else.
Standing back around, her eyes shine in the moonlight.
Never again. I told you before that we are nothing alike.
She's wrong. I can see myself reflected in her harsh gaze. I could have been her so easily.
Well, what is it, dog? Have you finally learned to hold your tongue?
Something about her finally clicks. Something in her words makes sense. The way she tells me so much, even as she tells me to leave. The way she keeps asking for my thoughts. She desperately wants me to respond.
I'm sorry. All of that stuff that happened to you is terrible. I can see why you hate humans so much.
Her eyes widen, then instantly narrow.
Oh, has a thought dared to enter that empty head of yours?
Yeah. I'd probably hate humans too if I'd gone through what you did. Even though I didn't, I still spent most of my life trying to avoid them. And everyone else. Everyone but one person.
I pause, waiting for her to interrupt me, but she doesn't. That's the nicest thing Silver's ever done for me.
I also got my leg hurt by humans back then. Back when I was a fox, I stepped on one of their traps and couldn't get out. I also thought I was gonna die. But instead, my person set me free. Even though they weren't my person yet. And they put a bandage on my leg and helped it get better. I'd probably still have a limp today if they hadn't.
Silver scoffs, but doesn't interject.
Until I came here and met Aspen and Juliet, I thought my person was the only one worth knowing, human or not. I didn't want them to talk to me either. But now, I'm glad they did.
I search her face, trying to get a glimpse of what she might be thinking or feeling, but her expression is as stony as ever. I could keep going, but I'm not sure it would be a good idea or not. I'm probably already wearing on her patience. Oh shit. I feel like we need to keep going. Yeah, let's keep going. Since she still hasn't cut me off, I decided to keep talking. Who knows when I'll have another chance.
You could try that too, you know. I could even introduce you to my friends. I haven't told them about you yet. They don't have any idea you exist, but I'm sure they'd be just as nice to you as they were to me. Not all people are bad, humans or fabled. There are good ones too. Just like there are probably good and bad Gumiho.
All I get in response is a cold stare. Well, it's not like I really expected her to say yes, so at least I tried. From the way she fidgets, I can tell that we're getting near the point where Silver is going to decide she's had enough and run away, but she can do that. Before she can do that, there's something I have to know.
Hey, what?
I never asked before, but what's your name?
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot Silver's not her actual name. She sneers, looking glad to have a response to be she sneers, looking glad to have a reason to be disdainful again.
I have no need for one. If I wished to be known by anyone, they wouldn't use a name.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. It's how I ended up calling myself Miho.
How clever.
Which is why I've been calling you Silver in my head, so I'll just keep doing that.
Pick something else.
Huh?
Her response is immediate. I was expecting a do as you wish or I don't care what a dog thinks of me, but I didn't expect her to have an opinion on my choice. Even Silver looks a bit surprised of herself, like she answered without thinking. She quickly forces back to a stoic expression.
I mean, do as you wish.
If you tell me something else to call you, I will.
That's kind of adorable, honestly.
I don't care what a dog thinks of me.
Yeah, she said the lines. Noticing the air, she turns away from me and transforms, bounding into the shadows like always. This time I don't try to follow her. She always has to make a show of how little she cares. It took me until tonight to understand that that means she cares a lot. As for detached and disinterested, for as detached and disinterested as she tries to appear, there are still weaknesses in her armor. Once again, I didn't really learn much about myself or my magic from this visit with Silver, but still, I don't think it was a waste of time. Let's go, we're making progress. At breakfast the next morning, I'm still waiting for Silver and her story. I'm still thinking about Silver and her story, about how much it has in common with mine. I only half listen as Juliet and Aspen talk about a book they've both been reading. Instead, it's nice to just watch them enjoy being around each other. It's so easy to miss that. It's so easy to miss that when you're not looking for it. Of course, you can still miss out on other things. It takes me a moment to realize that Aspen is trying to get my attention.
Miho! Miho!
Shaking my head to bring my attention back.
To Miho! Anyone home?
There is now. Just stepped out for a minute, you know.
Believe me, I know. I was just asking if something had happened to your bead. It looks brighter again.
Oh shit.
It does?
Oh man, that'd be embarrassing if Aspen noticed a change before I did. I took my necklace away from me so I can see it. Sure enough, the glow is stronger than before. Still not as strong as Silver's though.
I swear it wasn't like that when I went to sleep.
Maybe it changed overnight. Like your body, perhaps it needs time to process. Actually, I believe I learned something useful in that regard. I was able to get in touch with one of the curators from the exhibition you saw at Tepapa. I mentioned the painting of a Gumio and asked if he knew anything about them. And he told me a very interesting myth.
Oh shit, we're gonna get more lore.
It says that not only is a Gumio's bead the source of her magic, but it also requires more magic to sustain itself. Most Fable take their magic from the underworld's source, but for those who don't come from the underworld, such as Miho,
it has to come from somewhere else.
Interesting.
Right.
We're all quiet for a moment as we all come to what I'm sure is the same conclusion.
The memories.
Yes, I believe so. Every time someone forgets about you, I believe your bead retains that memory as a sort of power. There was a second part to the myth as well. Once it's accumulated enough, the Gumio can take that magic and make it her own, becoming something even more than a Gumio.
Something more? In what way?
A Chunho.
Both of them look at me.
Pardon?
Chunho. I know the word, but not how I know it. As if Juliet's explanation unlocked a forgotten memory of my own.
That's what I'd be. If I swallowed the bean when it was ready. Tunnel. A sky fox.
I don't know what it means, but I know it's the next step in my existence, more than a Gumiho.
If you swallowed it. I suppose that makes sense, but it hardly sounds pleasant.
It isn't.
Removing my necklace, I inspect the bead once yet again. The glow must be related to what Juliet was saying. It's getting closer to being ready. I don't know if the rest is mine. I don't know if the rest of me is though.
But why now? I don't think that many people have forgotten me recently. But it started changing so fast.
It's magic. Even as a boring old human, I can tell you that magic never works how you think it should.
Not just magic, but also myth. Myths tend to have some roots in truth, but are incomplete or warped by retelling. Trust your eyes and your heart, not just what Aspen and I find.
Right. Besides, who knows how much farther it has to go? It could keep getting brighter and brighter for a long time. I've seen... I'll see if it looks any different this time next week.
I was about to mention Silver, but managed to catch myself. I want to tell Aspen and Juliet about her, but not yet. Not until I know her better myself. Not until I can convince her to meet them. And it could take even longer for Silver to change than for my bead. Although, now that I think about it, what does the brightness of hers mean? That her bead is stored even more magic than mine? Something about that doesn't feel right. It can't just be about an amount. It has to be about something else. Something more. I wonder if even she knows what it is. There's one more big question too. One more big what if.
If I do that, would it mean people stop forgetting about me? If my bead isn't there to steal the memories?
That would be very nice if so.
Indeed. I couldn't say, but I share Aspen's feelings, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I do.
I lock the necklace back around my neck. The more I learn about my powers, the more conflicted I feel. I know Aspen and Juliet mean well, but it's just not something they can understand. Even though Juliet has magic of her own, it's entirely different from mine. The conversation changes to recent events at the library in Bell House, and none of us mention anything else about magic or Gumiho for the rest of the morning. Whatever's going on with my beat, I have to figure it out myself. Oh shit, more Tommy. Just a second. I've got like half an hour. I can stream a bit more. I'm gonna go a bit quick bathroom break. I'll be RB. I'm back. I'm not sure if I have. I actually kind of wanna work on my dating sim. So I'll do this Tommy scene and then I'll end off the stream here, and I'll stream next time I can, because this game is adorable and every time I replay it, it reminds me of that. Anyway, let's go see what Tommy is doing. Even though I'm preoccupied thinking about magic, the morning goes by without any trouble. The library isn't very busy, so I finish my tasks quickly and then work on reading and writing. When I hear the door open, I don't look up. I just call it a greeting because I'm halfway through a worksheet. And then something floats into the edge of my vision to get my attention. It's Gerby.
Gerby?
Our boy! The familiar fable swirls in recognition. Of course, Tommy's with him on the other side of the desk, but I don't see Gwen or Elijah.
Hi, me!
Hey there. What's up?
I'm looking for a super special book. Do you want to help me find it?
Here in the library? I haven't seen any weird bugs.
Nah, it's not in here. It's in the woods. It's a special butterfly where if you touch it, you turn into a butterfly too.
Tommy flaps his arms, imagining what it'd be like to have wings.
I kinda like how I am already. Where's your mom at, though?
He frowns.
She's at her house. I told her I was gonna go, but I don't think she heard me.
Knowing Gwen, once she realizes Tommy's missing, she'll go in a panic, looking for him. I doubt I could just make him go home though. Guess that means I have to keep an eye on him.
Alright, I'll go with you. But I'm not gonna touch it if we find it.
Okay, yay! Did you hear that, Kirby? Me's gonna come with us!
Kirby flaps his petals, just like Tommy flaps his arms. I put away my things and then follow Tommy out the door. Before I go, I send her a quick message to Gwen to tell her that Tommy's with me. Eventually, we reach Mount Victoria. It takes a lot longer walking with Tommy than it would take me on my own.
So, how do we find this thing?
We just have to look for it. It's got bright purple wings like Kirby, so it should be easy to spot.
I let him lead me around the area while he checks all the flowers and plants that he can. We see all sorts of other bugs, but not the ones we're looking for. Keep half an eye out for the butterfly, but also make sure Tommy doesn't touch something poisonous or bitey by accident. Just a second. Never mind, looks like I'm postponing my plans for today for a little bit. So I can stream longer. I'm not sure how much longer I'll stream because I kind of want to work on my dating sim, but we'll see. I'll keep an eye out for the butterfly, but also watch it. Also watch to make sure Tommy doesn't touch anything poisonous or bite you by accident. While we're wandering around, I notice that the area we're in is kind of familiar. That gives me an idea.
Hey, Tommy. Wanna see something neat?
Is it a bug?
Nope.
Okay, I guess.
Oh, it's the den. It's just a short walk to my den. The condition isn't great, and I have to tidy it up a bit just so it's recognizable.
What is this?
It's my den. It's where I lived when I first came here.
Whoa.
Both Tommy and Jerby inspect my handiwork.
It used to be a lot nicer. Now it's kind of beat up.
I bet I could still fit in there.
Yeah, probably.
He's gonna try, isn't he? Tommy pokes around the entrance a little bit, clearing some of the leaves and other stuff that block it.
Do you like your new home more?
At the library? Oh, yeah.
My old house was better, where I lived with Mom and Dad. Dad still lives there, but now Mom has a different place where she lives. I have to go there sometimes.
You don't like it?
I don't want to have two homes. I just want one with all of us. Me, Mom, Dad, and Gerby. Come on, I don't see any butterflies here.
Poor kid. We start walking again, but it doesn't let us get too far from the main path. Tommy and Jerby are still looking around for the butterfly, but I can tell Tommy's heart isn't in it quite as much. I don't have any experience with any of the issues Tommy's dealing with or the rest of his family, but I feel like I should at least say something.
You know, I'm kind of jealous.
Why?
Because your parents let you have two homes. I spent a long time not even having one home. I don't really count places like my den. That was just a place to stay. Until I moved into the library, I didn't have somewhere better. But you get to have two!
What about your parents?
I don't have any. Not the same way you do.
Now that I think about it, was me and his parents just two foxes? Yeah, my parents were just foxes, and I barely remember them or even think about them that much.
Even if they don't live in the same place, they both still love you lots, right?
I guess.
I'm not sure if anything I'm saying is helpful. I don't even know how to help Tommy, but I'm being honest at least. What he has for a family just seems pretty good, even if it's not perfect. In the end, we don't end up finding that magical butterfly. While we're still looking around, my phone rings. Of course, it's Gwen. I tell her where we are, and she promises to be there soon. When she finally meets up with us, she doesn't even scold Tommy for running off, just gives him a hug and thanks me. As I go off to her house, I reflect on what I said. Being a human is tougher than I used to think it was. What Tommy and his family are going through isn't something I can relate to. But I get the feeling that Tommy is trying in his own way, just like Gwen and Elijah are. Whatever it takes, I hope they're able to figure something out together. Right, oh yeah, shit, it's Friday now, so it's about the dinner. I'll do that next. I'll do that next stream. Save here and leave you all in suspense.
Ugh, it's about time. I was getting bored.
Oh shit, I'm 50% done. I've actually completed the whole game.
I'm gonna take a 5.
Right, well, thanks for showing, and I'll see you whenever I next have a chance to stream. Bye.